to 5 minute, yes, it's a 3 to 5 minute speech with a 2 to 3 minute session afterwards for questions. The objective is give a briefing according to the speech objectives, be able to handle a question and answer session immediately following. The title of the speech is The Briefing Speech. Everybody help me welcome. I'm sorry, the title of the speech is PMP Certification. Everybody help me welcome Mike Mau.
Fellow members and guests, this summer I obtained my PMP certification, which stands for Project Management Professional. Tonight I want to share my knowledge and experience about the subject so you can be informed about it and decide for yourself whether there's something right for you. I want to leave you with this point. According to the PMI survey, 6th edition, salary survey 6th edition, a PMP can increase your salary up to 10% over your non-certified colleagues. With that in mind, let me go over the two parts of the certification process, application and exam. First, the application. You begin the process by submitting an application to an organization called Project Management Institute, or PMI. This application form features a very detailed experience verification form. The PMI has mandated the following requirement for the typical 4-year college graduate. I'm going to read word by word what that requirement is. At least 3 years of project management experience, no less than 4,500 hours leading and directing projects. The experience I'm talking about here is managerial experience, not simply having worked on a project. And for each project you list, you must supply a contact reference. And in addition, you must be able to break down those hours into discrete knowledge areas. I will come back to that in a bit. Once you submit this application, PMI will either choose to audit it or grant you permission to proceed to the next step. Because PMI puts so much emphasis on details of the application, I strongly recommend if you who are interested to begin now to go over your work experience to break down your project experience. The second part of the process is the PMP exam. The PMP exam is a computerized multiple choice test that can take up to 4 hours. Yes, it's very flummoxed. The test material for this comes from this book. The Project Management Body of Knowledge, or PMBOK. PMI considers, and it says here, considered to be the industry standard. I have given each one of you a handout that's a copy of the table 3-1, which shows you how the material is organized. PMI has created 5 processes: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring control, and closing a project. That's what you see on the top. And then on the left-hand side of the handout, if you look downward, you will see the 9 knowledge areas. These are the same knowledge areas that I alluded to earlier in the application form. So how does this work? For example, if you look in the middle of the page, you'll see a process called determining the budget. Determining the budget is a part of the project cost management and happens during the project planning phase. So typical questions will revolve around a process inputs, tools for that process, and the output you get from that process. The PMI, the purpose of the exam is essentially PMI's way to make sure that you know how a project is supposed to be managed ideally. Overall, the process took me a little bit over 1 month. I took a 1-week intense boot camp training course with a trainer, after which I submitted my application. Then I had 3 weeks to do self-study. In summary, the PMP certification is intended for management professionals who have strong experience in working with projects. And you can only obtain the PMP if you can demonstrate sufficient knowledge of the material in the PMBOK. With that, I'm open to questions. front of me.
Is it just an American designation, or is it worldwide?
It
How does
is,
work?
PMP is a worldwide organization now, with members all across the world, so it is very much international. Thank you.
I'd like to know, PMP, what does that acronym stand for?
The question was, the acronym for PMP stands for Project Management Professional.
I see.
Thank you.
What industries does that cover?
Industry, the question was what industry does PMP certification cover? The answer is any profession where you do projects, so it could be any number of professions. The process applied to everything.
Yeah, how much the cost to take exam? How much?
The question is how much does it cost to take the exam?
Yeah.
And the answer is $555. And that's for each shot, each attempt.
I have one other question. I'd like to know how this, how this helps you in your job. I mean, if you say that you are certified to strike, then can you, go to court and testify in court for your company? How does it advance your skills? I mean, how does it show or help you in your company?
Well, from the purpose of certification, it distinguishes you, right? It's basically PMI saying that I certify you that you have met those requirements. So that distinguishes you off the bat from people who claim they have experience but doesn't, right? Like you're actually putting in writing in legal terms that you have so-and-so that can back you up as to have worked on the project, led a project. But from a knowledge point, and I do want to emphasize it is a certification that you have to continue to maintain. So you're essentially committed to a learning process to some extent. The overall process I found to be very educational. How a project should be managed. It made me a better manager. So as I do project management now, I think that's very important for me to apply that in my job. Hope that answered your question. Sam.
I have a two-part question. One is a 10% increase over what are we talking about? And if you were freshly to go to a company, what would be your starting paycheck? I mean, 10% could be of what? There has to be a
Good question.
basis.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
Michelle?
What's the pass-fail rate for people that take the test? Do most people pass it on the first try, or they take it more than one time? Or?
Yes. The question was what is a pass-fail rate like? And this is a great. I want to share this actually from my trainer's experience. He had people that took the test on the Saturday after going through the week of training who passed. He also had people who procrastinated for 2 months and then failed the test. And in reality, the pass rate is pretty high because you have to score about 60% to pass. I would say on average most people will pass, but it's very intimidating. With that, thank you very much.